Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 12th episode. Um, Thank you for the only one listener we have so far. Thank you very much for listening. And if you are new listeners, thank you for joining. It's always two us, me, Tunde, and Nigel, our co-host. The topic for today is the paradox of connectivity. Technology brings us together, but also drives us apart. How smartphones, social media, and digital tools affect relationships and communication. So, um, in today's world, we technology has advanced a lot and incorporated into our daily lives. We'll be discussing how that has been affecting the way we live, the way we do things, compared to what it was a decade, 2, 3 decades ago. Um, so, Nigel, do you want to go first? Do you have something in mind?
Yeah, I think the first thing about this topic is that our generation, I mean, we are from like the 90s, 80s, 90s is called, yeah. We saw the rise of the internet. We saw the arrival of mobile phones. We saw the arrival of social media, unlimited communication options with people all over the world. So I think that makes us a bit special. It's always nice to say that you're special about yourself, right? So I think if you look back at how I grew up in a reasonably small village, um, and I was kind of disconnected with the rest of the world because in that village was my whole life. I mean, my friends, parents, um, and I went to school there, so there was nothing more. And then the town, like 15 kilometers away, that was the next big city. We called it the big city, but it was basically a, a small town with some more shops. And I when I left the how do you call it, the school where you go when you're below 12, and then I went to the the next phase of my education. I went to there, and I had to bike there every day. And that was basically your world was small, and there was no internet. There was no, so if I wanted to know something, I read the complete encyclopedia. My parents had the encyclopedia, and I read the whole damn thing because I was just curious and bored. What you get then is that you start reading the encyclopedia. You start at A, you start reading, and you learn about all kinds of different things in a nicely curated, outdated encyclopedia. Um, so now, if I want to know something, I can just ask. I don't have to wonder. I don't have to go into an index to search the topic. I don't have to go to the library. All kinds of skills I've acquired when I was younger to get my information. And being connected basically meant knowing every friend's parent because you had a house phone. I picked up my house phone. I would call, and then the mother of the friend would pick up. Hello, and then you say, "Hello, this is this and that. I want to talk to my friend. Is he around? No, no, he's playing outside. You could have go look." And then you go there and you play outside, or not if you couldn't find him. So after school, I would disappear, and as long as I went home at dinner time or when the street lights went on in winter time when it's getting darker early, everything was fine. If you compare that with how it's now, I want to know where my kids are all the time. They can disappear because I'm tracking them with my AirTag because I'm worried that they might get lost. Um, they can bring home the world in their phone. They can sit in their bed and communicate with middle-aged men in Australia if they want to. I don't know. Um, when I was younger, I could only communicate with the people that were actually there physically. So there was no Australian man in my bed to make the point a bit more weird. But that's the whole thing I try to explain to parents that struggle with. Should I allow my kid to have their phone in their bed? I said, would you allow someone from wherever outside the world to be in that room with your kid? No? and I shouldn't allow your kid to have a phone with them, because all the people in the world are there through that phone, and you don't have an oversight on it, and your kid doesn't really know what it means. Um, so yeah, it does connect all of us, and yeah, I profit from it in a big way in my work, my hobbies, in my podcasting endeavors with one listener right now, that we know of at least. um, so that's amazing. But to lay out the whole journey within one lifetime also means that, are we really capable of understanding what's happening? Do we really know how it influences us? Can we really understand? I don't think so. But maybe I'm going to leave that to you. Maybe you can shine some light on if we are truly capable of understanding.
Well, we kind of similar experiences with growing up without internet, and every person you meet or information you need to get has to be in person, right? And also I remembering even TV. You When I was young, we watch TV together as a family. We watch series together once a week. You have to wait a whole week for the next episode.
Oh my God, yeah.
And if you miss it, you miss it. They have to
Yeah.
tell you the story, or you find a way to. If you're lucky, you have a VCR, you can record it. But nowadays you have Netflix. You can finish a whole series in 2 days, whereas it will take 13 weeks for you to finish one during our time. Um, Technology is good in terms of the connectivity, whereas you can communicate with anybody around the world, just like I'm in Canada, you're in the Netherlands right now. This would not be possible without technology of today. However, it also set us apart. It bringing us apart because everybody's attached to their phones, to their devices. You go to a party or you go to an event, everybody's stuck to their phones. Nobody wants to talk to anybody.
No.
I was, I think I was watching Shark Tank not too long ago, and someone was came to request for funding on his business idea, and the business was the problem he was solving was married couples, were not are not having enough intercourses, right? And because maybe they are busy work life and everything, if the husband wants to do it, he doesn't know how the wife feels, and if the wife wants to do it, he doesn't know how the husband feels. So they kind of like not free enough to approach each other, right? So this guy, I don't know if it's a guy or a woman, created this app and said, if you want to do it, uh, push a button on your mobile phone, and then the wife will see a notification that you want to do something, which is ridiculous. You sleep together on the bed. Why not just talk about it and say you want something? Why do you have to go through your phone and use an app to decide what you need to do? So those kind of things are the negative impact of the technology we have today, and also what you mentioned with the kids having phones and somebody disguising as another kid, but it's an adult communicating with them. These kind of things are dangerous, and also setting us, moving us, driving us apart. You mentioned you grew up in a small village. In that kind of way, you know almost everybody in that village, and almost everybody knows you. You talk to everybody. If you have a problem, you know who can fix it. If they have a problem, they know what you can fix. They know what you can contribute. You know who to talk to for some reasons. But in today's world, we live in a city that is overpopulated, but people don't even have any friends. They just go to their work and come back. Everybody's stuck to their phones. Now everybody is using headsets when you go on the train, on the bus, everybody's on their headset with noise cancellation, doesn't want to hear anybody talk to them. So, are we connected? No, we are not really connected. We are just stuck with
Well, maybe I
technology
can make it a little
devices.
bit make it a little bit worse. I think it's even uh, so much worse in the sense that we're not connecting to the people we are sitting next in the train, but we are connecting to people on social media that might not even exist, but they make
Exactly.
you angry, or they tell you what you want to hear, or they share something that is making you upset. So while you are interacting with God knows what, because most of the traffic on these sites have been generated by bots nowadays, you forget to communicate with the person next to you. And before you know it, you're voting on someone which says he's going to solve all your anger issues. While if you would have checked in with the person next to you or around you, you would notice that it might not be as bad as you think. So that's another thing about being disconnected while being connected, is that because of how our brain works, we tend to search for what kind of enforces our ideas. And before
Mhm.
you know it, you are very upset with the world. And I always tell people that, yo, but there are so many immigrants and they're stealing all our things and they're eating like cats and dogs or whatever bullshit came up. And I always say, go outside. You see them immigrants eating your cat? No. Do you know anyone personally that has his cat eaten by an immigrant? No. Is it really happening? Are you sure? Or is it just a story fabricated by someone in St. Petersburg or whatever to make us upset and to influence us? You don't know. And I think the fact that you don't know should teach us that if you can verify the person in a physical being having that actual experience or that actual opinion, then
Mhm.
you shouldn't weigh it the same way. We have an issue weighing online information. And then you have a lot of discussion about critical thinking, and you see that we don't even know what it is. We just let ourselves be flooded with. So it started so nice. I know when the first people I met online, it was great. I was chatting all night long with people from all over the world, with ICQ, later Amazon Messenger, and I loved it. It was an eye opener, and I could learn a lot
Yeah.
about their culture and about their background and how they live, and yeah, different time zones, and after a while, uh, this has shifted. I think it's something that's shifted since the what they call the Web 2.0 revolution, where social media was kind of taking over,
Yeah.
and the interaction became mainstream, but also the influence of algorithms and of disinformation, bots, trolls. And if you look at how internet looks now, it's everything but connecting us and everything but giving us the information we seek. I mean, I kind of long back to the fact that I could open an encyclopedia and there would be information that was just neutral, just basic information about animals or about countries.
Yeah.
Just there was no other reason for that encyclopedia to exist except for being there with that information. Um, but yeah,
And one of the good things about looking through the dictionary, trying to find a meaning for a specific word, maybe you read in another book, right? Is on your way through to the word you are looking for its meaning, you will come across more words and you
yeah,
learn on that journey. So that's pretty good. By the way, um, so we don't focus on the negative part of the technology only before we sound like uh,
grumpy old man.
grumpy
Just say
boomers, right?
it.
We should talk a bit about the positive aspect of technology as well.
Yeah,
Um, One of the things that I appreciate a lot with technology in terms of connectivity is about people traveling. If you have someone who is going on a trip, uh, in the past, you don't know when you're going to talk to them. You just maybe, if you're lucky enough, you have a phone in your house. I grew up without a phone in my house. So if one of my parents is traveling to a different city that is very far, we just wish them good luck. There's no contact, there's nothing. You just say, okay, I'll be back in 5 days. We expect them to come back in 5 days. We don't know what's happening. We don't know if there's an accident, there's anything. You don't know anything. And also I do remember a couple of my some people who have family members who traveled abroad, right? And there is no contact. They they will find a way to get a phone number of somewhere or someone who they can call at a specific time. And when they reach wherever they are going, they also give a phone number. They might call from a phone booth and say, "Call me back at this on this phone and at a specific time." You have to call at that specific time. Those kind of things. And also in the past, if you, for example, if you want to meet your friend after school, they say, "Oh, tomorrow is Saturday. Let's meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. to play football together." You have to meet at 2 p.m. at a specific spot.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision at that time. And if someone is late, you wait 30 minutes. If they don't show up, you assume they're
away.
not coming.
No, yeah, you know.
So it's that. And then you go far away to meet your friend. You don't, maybe for some reason you miss each other and you have to go back home. You have to and you don't get angry that, oh, why were you not there or anything. You just accept, okay, oh, sorry, you slept off or you went on an errand for your parent or something. It's normal, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But today you don't even need to set up an appointment. You just text, hey, are you free now? Let's meet, let's play football, let's do something together. It's
Well,
spontaneous.
that's the thing. We've been experimenting with giving our kids a phone, and I noticed that don't giving them a phone helps them being in touch more with their friends, because of the reason you're just telling me. Because it's kind of forcing them to make mindful, um, like the appointments with their friends to see them, and they have to go to their friends' houses and just ring the door and say, "Hey, can you play?"
Yeah.
Which makes the barrier for the other kid to say no harder, because yeah, the kid's already, my son or my daughter is already there. They go, okay, okay, it's fine, and then they go play. So I really try to experiment with that. Not that I don't want them to use the mobile phone, and there are friends that live further away, and then it's extremely convenient. But it's also, yeah, carving away some of that, yeah, that personal interaction. So that works. But I have same examples as you said. Well, my father always went with public transport to his job, and there was a snowstorm one night in winter, and he didn't come home, and there was snow outside, and we didn't hear anything from him because he didn't have a mobile phone that didn't exist, and he was stuck in a train which doesn't have a phone. So he was just, I think he came home at like 11 p.m. or something, but we were all worried sick, and yeah, we had no idea where he was, if he was going to be okay. And then the only thing you can do is have faith in the fact that he will be home and it's going to be okay, because yeah, he's a grown ass man, so he's probably able to
Yeah.
to
I remember there was a time the government was recruiting people into the government service, not the military, but like the road safety
oh
part. So they had to travel for training, which is part of the hiring process.
yeah.
And the trip from where we live to where they had to go was about 12 hours by road.
Whoa.
So my dad had to go there, and then they had to spend about a week doing physical training.
Oh,
And there was no means to contact. We just watched the news at 9 p.m. at night to get like 30 seconds updates
yeah.
on the recruitment process. And on the news, they will say, oh, out of the 10,000 people that were in the recruitment process. About 500 people fainted this afternoon because they were dehydrated or they didn't have enough energy, or so out of those that fainted, about 50 passed away, and we're like, oh my God, we don't know, we don't know
What
what
kind of
to contact.
recruitment process was this?
They have to run, right? They have to run around and do some physical exercises and see how fit they are before they recruit them.
Ah, yeah.
So
Okay.
those that cannot make it would not be recruited.
No, because they were
So that was,
dead.
yeah, exactly. So there was no way to contact him. There was no way
No.
to call anybody. We just wish him luck until he comes back, or they bring his body back. You know,
Oh my God.
those kind of things is
Yeah.
it's it's crazy people how people survived in those days
Yeah.
without technology, without contact, and
No, and now it's so much easier. And I mean, I have
yeah,
friends. I still play online games, and I'm part of a small game community, and I play with people from Egypt to the United States. And the quality of the internet is nowadays so well that you can actually play together from both of that, the Middle Eastern to Northern America's countries on the same platform and have fun. And just yeah, you play together, but you also discuss things together. So there's a lot of chatter about how life is at where people live. I mean, for understanding other people, that's great. I think that generation, because I'm one of the older people playing games. Most is usually between 20 or 30. Um, I think they learn a lot about other cultures. They have a high level of acceptance of individual differences in religion,
yeah,
in the way they perceive life. But there is also a common ground of morale, and yeah, they don't take any crap from anyone. You get bounced from the community, so you need to be at least a little bit careful with yeah, that's hopeful. That gives me hope because when people get along, they usually don't start a war, for example. But
yeah,
something like that. And also the fact that encyclopedia information is now so much available. If you want, there are still a bunch of sources online that you can use to figure out about new stuff. The amount of time that I got lost on Wikipedia or sites like that is countless. And then you learn so much new stuff about new things you didn't know, and I think that's amazing. That's
yeah,
really the benefit. And when I go traveling, when you can just update your parents along the way, um, it's now nowadays it's even hard to not be in touch. So wherever you go, when I was in Thailand hiking in the mountains, I still had cell phone reception.
yeah.
I still got a message from my I have an automated cat flap. So if my cat goes in, I get a message that the cat arrived, or when he goes away, I get a message that the cat left. And I was walking in Thailand in the mountains, and I got a message that my cat came home on the other side of the planet. That's the level of connectivity we have nowadays. So I can even see what my cat's up to.
I was talking to someone today who is a missionary and is on a missionary mission in South Sudan. So, and in South Sudan, they set up the UN set up a camp on a desert. So it's in a remote area. It's not close to any city at all.
No.
And he mentioned there were about, I don't know, a lot of people on that in that camp. So every water, food comes by plane.
Okay.
Everything they need comes by plane. It doesn't come by road. If it goes by road, it's going to be stolen. It never arrives. So
Oops.
they they built an airstrip for
Yeah.
that location by itself. So and I was asking, so do you have connectivity to the internet? He said, no, but yes, but they have like a satellite, something like a satellite, but not Starlink, some satellite connectivity, and it's only used for using WhatsApp to send text messages. And the text, it takes like a few seconds to send just a message, not
Yeah.
even a media file, just a text message. So that kind of life. So in that, and I was thinking in that kind of camp, you are connected to everybody because there is no phone, there is no computer, there is nothing. It's you want to do something, you have to talk to people. You want water, you have to go get water because it's not readily available. It's rationed. It's rationed water, it's rationed food, rationed
Yeah.
supplies. So you have to talk to people. There's a huge community that exists, though not in a good way because they have a camp because of some negative reasons, right? But that was um, a kind of experience that we had in the past, which, but it was not the first experience, but which was good. But this one was kind of forced for because of the circumstances they are in. So in that kind of settings, maybe without the lack of digital connectivity is good for them because they are more connected. They talk to a lot of people. Um, if there is, if Starlinks, if they install Starlinks, for example, in that on that camp, and everybody is connected to their phones and they have their computer and everything, then everybody is going to be stuck in their tent and they don't want to go out, they don't want to engage or do any other activities that supports the entire group anymore. But without internet, everybody is engaging.
Yeah.
That,
Um,
that
it's a, it's an interesting philosophical discussion as well. I mean, if I go back to my dad, it, stuck in a snowstorm, what does it change knowing where he is? I mean,
yeah,
it's a bit of the Schrodinger's equation. Same with your dad going on this apparently horrific trip to get tested, vetted for this new government job. What does it change knowing where he is or what he's doing? At the end, you can't influence what's happening. So,
yes,
in most occasions, it doesn't really give you anything more than more to worry about. So, if I knew that my father was stuck in a train, I would know he was stuck in a train. But without knowing he was stuck in a train, I knew he was probably stuck in a train. So the only thing was that we didn't have the ability to check in on him. So the only thing you could do is just wait. And life just
mm,
went on because there was a high level of acceptance. And now, if you can't reach someone and you don't know where he is, you get all upset because you kind of expect to know where he is. You expect to figure it out. In the meanwhile, you still can't change the faith of this person. So, um, yeah, this is a weird one, right? Does it really help us that much? So for again for my kids, when it's storming outside, I go like, I hope she's gonna be fine or he's gonna be fine if they go out on their own. And I put this air tag to attach to the key in the bag or whatever, and I go on my phone. Oh yeah, they're in school. I just check. It makes me feel better. So that's great. I mean,
uh, soon enough they will outsmart you and put their tag somewhere else and then they go
right,
somewhere else.
right. Don't tell them. Right now they're happy to bring it, and I only use it to for their safety and not to check in on them. So if I notice that they diverted a little bit, I try to give them that freedom. I'm trying to balance it with the emphasis on try, because as a parent, it's not easy. But I don't want to be this helicopter parent, as they call it. Um, and my kids both want their freedom, so I need to give them a
Yeah,
little bit. But
I think
still,
there's an episode on Black Mirror where this lady gave birth to a child, and you have the ability to program your child to censor what he or she sees.
yeah,
So, for example, this lady installed the program in the child's brain, so she doesn't see blood, she doesn't see fighting or
Oh,
arguments.
okay.
So the sound is muted. So, for example, if there's blood on the road, it's going to be blood.
Yeah.
So she's never seen blood.
No.
If a dog is barking, she's never heard a dog bark,
Uh-huh.
and she's never seen people fight. She's never heard people argue. She's never, you know, anything you can censor, like you censor something online or you put child safety
Yeah.
on the phone.
But then in real
It's
life.
done in real life in this kid's brain. And until she was in her 20s, I believe, and then I think that was a glitch or something. And then she realized how to remove the censorship. And then she was like eight uh, her mom for doing that to her all her life. So we might live in the nearest future where that is possible with Neuralink coming in. So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just the interesting thing about me growing up in a world where I wasn't connected and I could disappear. Uh, and it didn't make me a bad person or do bad things or so I kind of trust my kids that they can disappear once in a while and be disconnected. So I'm not too enthusiastic about them getting social media accounts or being online all day. I see that they bring in a lot of friends at home, and some of them have a phone. And as soon as they have a phone, they suddenly start to look like this because they walk around my house with the phone in front of their face. They use it all the time. The first thing they want is the Wi Fi code. And then they just sit on the couch or sit in the room with my kids and they just sit here with the phone in front of them. It's so extremely addictive and it's
yeah,
so weird. And and now if they come in and say, "Hey, Mrs. Phone," we go like, "Yeah, are you gonna sit here with your phone in front of your face all day, or are you gonna do something fun?" I really go with the full confrontation. I just ask them. I'm not forbidding them to do it. And usually they still sit on their phone, but they also try to do some other things or play a game or I don't know. But it's so hard to find a middle way. You don't want to say I'm forbidding you to do it because you know how it goes with forbidding stuff to teenagers. They will
they
just
want
try to
more.
they want more. You'll just make it more interesting. The only thing you can do is show them a way that's also nice, an alternative. But
Yeah,
there's nothing in this planet except for hard drugs that is so addictive as the phone. So the predictive thing for specialists around addiction is that the phone will be next in line after the cigarettes, basically for your children. But I don't know if that's really going to work. So that's going to be an interesting.
I think by now the phone has already surpassed any addictive drugs, cigarette or cocaine or probably even sugar. I think sugar is the number one addictive substance we have, right?
Yeah, yeah. And some
And
some of the, I mean, sugars is yeah, it's part of our diet. So it's very hard to completely get it out of your life, but it's also being weaponized, and that's the same is happening with your phone. So that's the downside. But yeah, I kind of hope that everything balances out, right? So at the end, we're now going through a phase of exploration and a lot of abuse and algorithm-driven, um, yeah, addictive behavior by people, and then after that, it will change into a more we do like we have the keto diet without sugars. We're gonna have a diet without phone, but that's gonna take a long time. In the meanwhile, we'll have to deal with the negative side of this. But I must say, to be honest, I can count myself as being addicted to my phone. I'm working with screen time limitations and trying to limit the amount of time that I'm just surfing around, spending time and trying to be more present. And it's one of the hardest things because, like sugar, I kind of need it uh, because
Mhm.
of my job. I've connected everything in my house through my phone. So, and then the thing happens: you pick up your phone to put on your television or to put on the lights or the heater. Everything is connected on my phone. And then I go to it, and then I see, oh, I got a message, and I go to the
Yeah, you get
messages.
a
Oh,
notification.
it's a link to a nice reel on Instagram. Oh, that's a nice cat. Let's see what next cat. And before you know it, and then
Yeah.
it says you spent half an hour on Instagram. Shouldn't you do something better? I go look. What? And half an hour went by. So that was just amazing how yeah, how
I believe in
poor.
the maybe in the future there will be no more screen phones. There will be screenless technology devices that we'll be using. So maybe, for example, we'll be using the AR glasses
Yeah.
or things that will be installed in our brain to pick up a call, and so
Yeah.
you don't have to pick up your phone. There are some technologies now that are being developed, but I think it's in the early stage to be adopted.
Uh,
For example, the this humane AI, I think it's quite early and also badly marketed. So
oh well, there's
uh,
but this Dutch journalist did something funny last week. He got himself one of these glasses with a camera and AI
mm,
integration in it, and he programmed it to um, search the people that he was talking to online and show the name and their occupation in its glasses. And he just Alexander Klopping, it's a Dutch journalist.
is
Um,
it from a Dutch or I think I saw the same thing, but I thought it was from a student in they did that school project or something.
oh, I don't know if he did this originally or did he just mimicked that experiment, but he did the same thing at least. He
Mm.
went out and he was talking to people. Hey, how you doing? And he was asking them some questions and say, "Hey, your name is this and that, right?" And the people go, "Oh, you're in accountancy? Yeah, yeah. I mean, but how do you know?" And then he explained, "Well, my glasses just did the facial recognition and found your LinkedIn profile, which is open, and I could just figure that out." So this is technology. This is available. He didn't do anything that exciting. So he combined a few things like the glasses and having facial recognition software running, but it's nothing fancy. We can all get these glasses. We can all do this. You go to public transport and you see a nice person where you think, oh, I want to know more about this person. You just stare at them a little bit, and your glasses will show them the name and possibly if they have a Facebook account that's open, it will show you where he or she lives and
Yeah,
how old he or she is. And
it's one of these scams that are going on with or not going on, but already existing with some people that practice medium and also some pastors, right? If
yeah,
there are some investigations that were done that you see some pastors in church that would say, "Oh, I see a vision. There's someone there. You have this, you have that," but it's actually there are
yeah,
people in the back door that were they check everybody's social media accounts
yeah,
and see their information, and then they tell the pastor what to say through his airport or something, and then he will say it out. "Oh, I saw this, I saw that, I saw this," and the same thing. There's a couple of these medium people also. They do carpooling, right? They like a Uber driving, and
yeah.
then they pick up a passenger, and then they say, "Oh, I'm a medium. I know this about you. You have
Oh, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
dead uncle. Is this, is that? He says he loves you." Says, "Oh, thank you so much." Blah blah. But it's actually people searching online in real time. But now you don't need people to search it. You can just use AI to search everything in real time and you get the information in a few seconds.
Yeah. So on the one hand, I didn't think he was doing such an impressive job in using that technology. But what was really impressive is that he was confronting the people on the street with the fact that he could just find all their personal information. And these people, they seemed shocked. They didn't realize that they have no privacy anymore when all this information is out there. Because wherever they are, if you put up a camera that detects their faces, they you can just yeah, I mean, I could hang up a camera in front of my house, and if people walk by, I could just register which people came by. And the funny thing is, it kind of already happens because I don't even use Facebook that much. But if I go on Facebook, it suggests connecting me to my window cleaner, which comes here every 6 weeks to clean the windows, and then suddenly it shows up. Maybe you want to befriend this person. You're like, what is
Really?
my window cleaner doing here? Well, he has Facebook on his phone. He must have. And then his location is being shared with Facebook. So then Facebook knows where we're in the vicinity of each other multiple times. So it only happened after a while. And stuff like that
I,
happens all the time. I always get
I
connected.
always I always get random connection suggestions from Facebook, like people from countries all over the world that I don't even know.
Yeah,
So I
but
just see.
that's you're using this VPN where you go out on the internet in Zimbabwe or in Japan or whatever, and then then you mess up the algorithm. That's on you.
I don't use VPN, but I also don't use Facebook. I
Hmm. No, I
mostly
don't
don't
have
use any social media that much.
no.
But
I don't have the app on my phone or the Facebook Messenger app, but I do have WhatsApp, which is owned by Meta, and it's
yeah,
also aware of my location. So I'm a bit worried that it's using my WhatsApp data to combine that with the Facebook data, and then still comes up with these
yeah,
proposals.
maybe it's from WhatsApp because I guess you have your cleaners numbers saved on your phone.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's sending me messages when he comes over the day before, so he's in my address book. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are so many ways how this could happen that I'm not even surprised it happens. It's just, yeah, it kind of
yeah.
makes you wonder where it goes, right? So
So many information.
I don't even know what his name is. He always comes here and says, "I cleaned your windows. Can I have some money?" And I give him money, and he goes off. And then I did know his name because Facebook said this is, and I recognized his picture, right? So, oh well. I think that's being even a bit more connected than you might want to.
Yeah,
I did not befriend him. I didn't want to be friends with my window cleaner. Ah, yeah. So I
all
think
right.
we covered this topic, the paradox of connectivity. Um,
Yeah,
and I think the examples of being disconnected and by being disconnected online makes people connect in real life more. I think that's good. I mean, you mentioned something about people having issues having intercourse. The funny thing is, every time we have a power outage in the Netherlands, we know that after 9 months we have a little baby boom. So I think it's actually true. If people
yeah,
get bored, they become sexy, make babies. So I don't think maybe it's not per se the connectivity, but it's also just being occupied. If you keep your brain occupied on wiping
yeah.
your
No,
screen,
no Netflix, no phones, and well, you
exactly.
got to do something.
Yeah. Oh well, it might as well get on with it. So it's funny, but
It's interesting because we get busier, right? In the past, you just, I mean, if you without the internet, you go to work or go to school and come back home, you do the chores, and you have free time. But now we get extremely busy, but achieving less, I would say, accomplishing less in some sense, because not specifically because I mean, being spending time on social media is part of it, but also um, doing things that are not urgent, like checking somebody's whereabouts, their location, or their well-being, or calling, or video messaging somebody.
I don't know.
All those things take a lot of time, and
Yeah, I,
they are not planned. They are just randomly
yeah.
uh,
You just
happening.
fill in the time, and I noticed that with myself and my kids as well. It's very hard to be bored, so you instantly go search something to do. But also, if my wife and I, quite often do a small walk through the area we live, just a stroll at night or something. And now it's darker earlier because of winter, and then I look inside people's homes, because they don't have the curtains closed and you can look inside. And the amount of people that have their television on all day long, or they just sit there watching the television, that's pretty large. So there's still a lot of people just watching the television. So when they're done with the chores, they don't get bored, or they don't have to figure out how to entertain themselves. They just put on the thing and they just sit there staring at it.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Well, I mean, I when I was young, they come dig down a cable through our garden. Then they drilled something in our house, and then suddenly we had cable television. And
Yeah.
before that, we had an antenna on the roof, and we only got like two television channels. But most of the time, we were just boring television programs. There was hardly anything on there for kids. And then
Yeah.
suddenly we had
And the ones you want to watch only comes at a specific time, and you have to wait
yeah,
for it
yeah,
to come up. So you have to do everything you want to do before that time,
yeah,
or push it to after that time. So
yeah. So I think the instant gratification thing is also something that's really new. So I wonder where that goes. If the generation that grew up with the technology we saw arriving, how they will deal with that. Maybe they will become better at coping with it. Yes.
I'm not sure. Depression is on the rise, right, compared to the past, but uh, I don't think it's better. Not trying to be negative, but unless the technology improved a lot, that we don't use screens that much,
Mm.
and if everything is audio and less graphics, then maybe there will be some connection. Maybe, I don't know. Just guessing
Uh,
because
on that, people being depressed, I think that's a perception thing in many cases as well, because when when you feel down and people say, "Well, it's okay to feel down," you might not feel depressed. You just feel down because you go like, "Okay, I have a bad day, or maybe even a bad week or a bad month. I don't know." But now, if you feel depressed or you feel down, you go online and say, "You should be happy. Everyone deserves happiness." And look at me being happy. I filmed this in 25 takes to show you how happy I am. I put on my makeup and I put extra special lighting on to show you just how naturally happy I am. After 25
yeah.
takes, I got it right. Now I look very happy. You should feel very unhappy because I'm very happy after 25 takes. So everything's
Uh,
fake, and you stare at people all day long that say they're happy and they say they're successful and but yeah,
and that is the impact of the internet and social media, right?
yeah,
And because you're glued to your phone, you see what people are, the lies people are telling online, and it influences your decision making and your life and your thought process. So you feel depressed. You think your life is not going how it should be
no,
because a lot of people are happy online, and you are just sad and going through your daily routine that is boring, and
yeah,
you feel you should have a change, which is not the reality. In the past, you only know your neighbors' issues, which is their positive and negative.
yeah,
Now you know people's positive only
yeah,
online. You don't see their negative.
exactly.
So that
So yeah, but there was this one, be real or something, right? It was a social thing that it forces you to show something of your life at a certain point in time. So it will give you a pop up. It's time to share your daily be real, or
oh, I saw that app also, but yeah,
yeah,
I think I used it for like 2 days and then deleted it.
because you get very depressed by all the depressed images. Or
Yeah.
no, but I think we do crave that authenticity and the honesty. So well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm very hopeful that the internet will self destruct a little bit by AI and generated content, because then you'll have to fall back to, but what is actually real? Who is actually real? Because if we know it's not real, we give it a different value. And if we think it's real, we value it in a different way. So now we have a problem that we value a lot of fake shit as being real. But if you sooner or later you start to accept that everything you see online is fake, the valuation process will change. So which gives me hope.
Well, even today, without well, I mean, AI kind of started like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
The content we consume before that, uh, most people, I don't, maybe not most people, a lot of people know everything online is not real and it's fake and it's acted and it's scripted, but they still kind of believe it. They still go through with it. And with AI generating all these almost real videos, I mean, if the content that AI generates right now, I can only imagine what it will look like in 5 years. We would not be able to differentiate between what is real and what is AI generated
Uh,
anymore.
I I don't really agree. I think. I mean, what you now see is a lot of people. They go if you scrolling, and then this guy says, "Listen, I got an investment strategy for you that works for me, and you should follow me, and then give me money, and then I'll show you my investment strategy." That looks really genuine, right? So this person seems to be the real thing. He seems to be honest, and so I don't know if people understand that this person isn't a investment guru. Otherwise, he wouldn't be making stupid videos on Instagram, but he would be sailing on his super yacht in the Mediterranean Sea. Um, but yeah,
But those kind of people still make a lot of sales. The
I
people
know.
buy their
So
four
people
ninety
think,
nine
yeah,
dollar ticket
exactly.
and something.
So people do think it's real, and they do give him
Yeah.
money. Um, but on the other hand, I participate in the lottery as well, and I know that's in part a big scam. Um, so there's a bit of copium in
Yeah,
there.
that's the thing. We know most of the things online are not real, but for some reasons we still fall victim and
Yeah,
go with some of these things. So when in the future when we think everything is AI generated, 80% of the content videos that we see online is not real, we're
I,
still going to fall victim. It's going to happen.
we're going back down to one of the things from our childhood, the X Files, where they had the quote, "We want to believe," right? So that's it. We want to
Mm,
believe. We just want it to be
yeah.
real. Maybe that's it. But I mean, we've spent almost an hour on this topic. I suggest
Oh yeah.
we wrap it up. We went
Yep.
far over our usual time we have planned for this, but way too interesting. Let's
Yeah,
see
it's an interesting topic.
if the balance gets restored.
All right.
Um, Thanks for our 12th episode, and to our one listener, thanks for listening. And
Thank you
maybe,
for tuning in every week.
yeah, maybe we'll get a second one soon. Let's see how this works.
Hopefully,
Before you know it, we go viral on the internet.
we can make what is it called, a bonanza. So you get one get you buy one get two free. Buy one get one free. So you listen to one episode, we make two episodes more.
Yeah, that's your or punishment or your treat. Just how you look at it. Well, thanks again, and see you next week.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.